Hello and welcome to episode 3, the VandalCast podcast. This is the VandalCast the Magic the Gathering podcast, and it's the only uncommon podcast. I'm Mike, or Cowheads. This is my channel, and this is my co-host.
Hi, I'm Nick. I go by Cromkinnock online. Great to be here.
Yeah, this is our third episode, and quick introduction if it's your first time here. My experience with Magic Gathering, Commander player, not too much competitive. I've done some events and stuff, but not too anything too crazy. Not any major tournaments with Magic at least. So.
And I used to be a tournament rat. I used to travel all over the state to do tournaments, but it's been about 8 years since I've done that. Now I'm mostly just casual Commander player, occasionally Pauper, but that's about it.
Yeah, I did the tournament rat scene back in the day with Pokemon, and the mostly around Black and White era. Maybe Gen 4, a little bit of Gen 6, but majority Black and White. But yeah, that was mostly my competitive scene. As a little something I was more used to. I wasn't allowed to play Magic back in the day, so moving on from that. It's the first time with us on YouTube. Please like, comment, subscribe. The support would be awesome. And if you leave us a comment, we'll be sure to try to answer it in the next podcast. We also film this live, so if you're joining us through Twitch, definitely shoot us a follow to help support the page get bigger. And you can join us live to where we could answer some questions while we're talking about whatever our theme is. And our theme today is 2025. So we're doing the 2025 Awakens. Because last one was Revenge of 2024. So 2025 Awakens, I think, is a...
Nice.
Yeah. And I have a feeling, I mean, I'm being a little negative Nancy, but I have a feeling that the Awakens tag that I named it might be a little too close to home.
I don't know. I got a few sets this year that seem like they're going to be good, maybe even great. I have more hope than I did, say, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I'll say with we'll get to Aether Drift. The spoilers of Aether Drift. The official spoilers of Aether Drift have all been pretty good so far. And like I said, I don't want to get in too deep in that too quickly. But so far, my thoughts on 2025, I'm less negative than I was going into it, but I'm going to keep, because of the amount of Universe Beyond, I'm going to keep my anticipation, my expectation a little lower than I want to, but so far it's not too bad. And I'll get into we'll get into Innistrad Remastered here shortly, and I liked it a bit better than I thought I would, but it's still
Same.
But what's your thought with 2025 so far?
There's a few on here that, as I did a little more research for this episode, I got more and more excited for. I don't know what the name of the set is, but the space fantasy
The Edge
one.
of Eternities, yeah.
It seems like they can do a lot of stuff with that, and I'm kind of excited, especially with the spoiler they put out. I'm a massive Final Fantasy fan, so looking forward to that. I think the Spider-Man one will still be good. I think that's there's a lot of stuff they could do with that.
I think the premiere
I don't know,
one this year will be Final Fantasy, but I think the most popular one will probably be Spider-Man.
probably. It's a very popular character. I imagine there's going to be like a few really insane cards in that one, and then a lot of whatever because of they want to put like some very powerful chase cards in that.
Yeah, they're going to be trying to sell that set for sure. I think we should go ahead and get started with our first set, and the most we can... Well, no, I think Aether Drift will be the most we'll be able to talk about. But we have First set this year. Came out in January. Specifically January 24th is when the official release date was.
Mm-hmm.
So which was Innistrad Remastered. It's a basically remastering of the couple Innistrad sets we've had in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And it added some cards that hadn't been reprinted before, that weren't technically an Innistrad character, which was the Druid card. I can't think of the name right now.
Hermit Druid.
Yeah, Hermit Druid was, yeah, there's a couple of those. And so, yeah, the main headliner was the Edgar Markov card, because it hadn't been reprinted yet. And he's very popular, especially for new people getting into Commander. He's a very enticing card because, I mean, he's got Eminence and, play a vampire, make a vampire. So,
an effect that costs no mana is a very powerful effect. And just all your spells make an extra vampire is ridiculous.
So we had the main thing we had for this was is a remastered, so there's no new reprints. We did get some special guests that had some neat art, but nothing too crazy. I mean, there's some like valuable reprints just for the foiling and stuff and the art, but like just base card overall, besides Edgar, I don't think anything was super valuable. I mean, there's a couple, but they've kind of died down since they've gotten out of rotation, which is like Meat Hook used to be worth a lot, but getting that still pretty cool. Meat Hook still, I think it's underplayed. I think it's better than it is being used in Commander. Let's see what else. What's another good card that got reprint?
The Hermit Druid.
Hermit Druid, and then the big old beast. I have to look in my
Craterhoof Behemoth.
Craterhoof was a big reprint. We hadn't had Craterhoof in a long time.
Yeah,
not that we need more Craterhoof in Commander, but getting the prices down is always fun for players.
Yeah. I was surprised looking through Card Kingdom, just like how many cards, not a sponsor, how many cards are
Could
like $5 and above.
Yeah.
I
feel like not a lot of people actually bought it, so I don't think there's a lot being opened. Because just looking on TCG Player, the quantities seem quite low on some of these. But yeah.
Yeah, like Emrakul, Gisela, man, Bloodline Keeper? Whew. I forgot how many Innistrad sets there were. And
I think one of the best reprints we got. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. What you're saying?
But like, and like how many supplemental products had a card that was an Innistrad theme, but wasn't necessarily from an Innistrad set, and just all those on top of each other, just like, oh, this set's actually not as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah, there's some great reprints that we gotten. I think the Get Rog was a really good reprint for Commander. Because I'm going to relate Commander most of these, because I think Commander is the one who benefited from Remastered the most, in my opinion. Because I don't feel like Legacy uses a ton from these Innistrad cards. I mean, I could be wrong, but last time I checked, there wasn't a big list of what Legacy used on here.
Like maybe like Bristlebrand and Temporal Mastery, but
he wasn't. Yeah.
But like for the most part, yeah, this was like definitely for Commander.
Get Rog is a great one for somebody getting new into Commander. Cathar's Crusade was still kind of up there in price because it hasn't been reprinted in a long time. So getting that reprinted is a great reprint. Really strong card.
Yeah, the Cultivator Colossus went from like almost a $30 card down to like a $5 card, which is just like, all the landfall decks will now have access to that.
Yeah, then we got the reprint of Emrakul. We don't really need that Emrakul back, the one that takes over your turn.
Yeah.
Your opponent's turn.
Commander players, let's not let's just choose not to put that in our decks. You know, let's.
Oh,
No one wants to have their turn taken over.
I well, I kind of have it in my Eldrazi deck. So.
Of course you do.
I played it once, and honestly, I didn't really get much benefit out of it. Like, there's nobody had anything like on table that I could do much about it. So I tried to like waste all the cards in their hand, and they didn't really have much. Yeah, it was really early in the game because my Eldrazi deck is pretty fast. So that's the downside of getting that Emrakul out fast is like there's not a lot.
Oh, you only
do.
have 3 mana.
And yeah, there was like I think I casted a spell just to waste it, and I attacked somebody, but it wasn't like anything impactful. But I mean, it was. I never gotten to do it before, so I just did it more for the experience. Because it's like one of those cards. It's like that's a cool card, but you hardly ever get to play it.
Yeah.
But this set features some new alt art reprints. New alt art of the reprints. So like, I don't have any of them pictured here. Technically, Edgar is one of those because that's a new picture for Edgar. But that's a returning frame from Innistrad sets. But yeah, some had the full art. And a lot of them were the either the movie poster, like the cool, like the cool heavy art image. But a lot of the high end ones had the poster. I'm not a huge fan of the poster because it's a little messy, but it looks cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
I really like most of them. The Avacyn one, the Meat Hook Massacre one.
It's just hard to read.
Kind of the Emrakul one. I don't like that his abilities are like off on a corner somewhere.
Yeah, that's the reason I don't care for it as much as the text part. It's so annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I ever ran one, I'd run it as commander, and then I'd have a second copy in my deck. So that way I can refer to it, or like if somebody wants to like read the card, like here, it's much easier to read. And also the mana symbols sometimes are in like a weird, or the power and life total are on a weird spot too, or power toughness. So it's like you also can like throw people off, and I hate winning against somebody that like, because they just didn't read the card properly because of the art of the card. That I don't know, it feels cheap is all I'm saying. And then we got retro frame borders, of course. We were getting more and more retro framing sets, and other than seeing the same card reprinted in the set 10 times, I have grown to really enjoy. Like, I got tired of seeing it, and now I just like can't get enough of seeing the old border. I like it. I like especially the black cards in the old border.
Yeah, the foil version of them are the prettiest. I'm so excited when I get one. Like the new Planeswalker one on the classic thing, on the classic art, is so cool. I really want to get the Liliana of the Veil one, that one right there.
It's like the Future Sight thing all over again. Like, I hated Future Sight originally, but now it's like I want more of it. But yeah, I bought some packs. I bought more packs of this than I should have. I didn't buy a box though. I bought some collector packs, and then I went to Walmart a few times, and I bought some packs there. But I got pretty good pulls on it, which I don't know. It's like some remastered sets you get some good pulls and some don't. Like, I felt like Dominaria Remastered, the pull rate was terrible. I think my only complaint also about this set, not only is it the remastered pricing for, Innistrad's kind of not super great pulls, but we just had a remastered set, it feels way too early for a remastered set is all I'm saying. Actually, we just had 2 remastered sets. We had Dominaria Remastered, like 2 years ago, or like I don't remember when Dominaria Remastered.
No, that was like a year. That's like not even a year out.
And then we got Ravnica Remastered last winter time ish, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just feels like we've gotten 3 remastered super close together.
Yeah, I like other than like a few cards that were reprinted that like, oh great, it's good that the prices are down and those cards are more accessible, but like for the most part, I don't really care about the set. Like I wouldn't want to draft it.
Yeah.
I might want to draft like original like the Ravnica or Innistrad block, but like I don't want to do this one where like it adds the more power crept blocks on top of it. Uh, I don't know. It like the flavor's there, but the balance isn't.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think this one is just to chase rares and all these pretty poster arts and stuff.
Yeah, it has a lot of the. The only thing we didn't get was the slug. I'm surprised we didn't get that one.
Oh yeah,
Because
that's
that's
odd.
Innistrad, I believe. It's probably a good thing because that card is so toxic. Speaking of it, I believe it
Hmm.
does give
Yeah,
toxic counters out.
Fox real. Yeah.
Toxic, yeah. God, I play that card and I feel bad every time. I had played it one deck and I feel bad every time it comes out. Um, but yeah, it's I mean, yeah, it's like the disparity. It's like you have like the top cards from all the Innistrad sets, and then you
Hmm.
have it's like mostly that, and then they're really bad cards. There's like not a very good in between in this set, so I can't imagine the draft being because it's like either somebody like you have to be like somebody pulls luck and gets some like really cool card, a real strong card, and then everybody else just got garbage cards.
Mm,
So.
yeah.
I didn't draft it, so I don't know. I wasn't planning on it. It'd be cool to draft if I ever got the chance with like friends, but I wasn't
Hmm.
dying to draft. But now we're going to the future of 2025. This one is very close to now. The official release date is February 14th. Keep in mind that card store releases are a week before, which means next week, I believe, is the pre-release.
Really. Yeah.
Actually, this week, Friday. So this Friday is pre-release night for Aether Drift. So the week of.
Hmm.
Um, Speaking of Aether Drift, let me set up. Let me get the card set up.
Mhm.
While I'm doing that, what's your opinion on Aether Drift so far?
Uh, well, we've seen a lot more powerful, like seemingly commander-focused effects than I thought there would be, for like energy and vehicles, and like some of these more fringe decks now seem like they're getting enough stuff to be, you know, powerful instead of fringe. Um, we're getting that new Chase Planeswalker equipment,
Yeah.
the Aether Spark, which I don't think is that powerful. I think it's good,
Yeah.
um, but I feel like you're paying 4 mana for a +1/+1 counter that turn. Um,
I mean, it's nice to have a equipment that's interact like you could do stuff with it instead of just like
mhm,
making it just like a gives it double strike or +1 +0 or some. So getting something that you can like activate like a planeswalker is really cool in
mhm.
concept. It's just one of those things that you have to wait to see to play me personally before I give. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's like it's kind of overrated. It's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's cool, but
I think I would have liked it way more if it like equipped itself when it entered, um, and it had an equip cost instead of only being able to equip through an activating its own ability. Because I think having the +1 being a +1/+1 counter is just good enough. And then like having it, you being able to play it, swing with a giant creature, get a ton of counters on it, and then ult with it. I think that's the dream, right?
yeah. Well, the
Um,
cool thing is keep being able to keep loyalty if you like the character that has it dies. So
mhm,
honestly, don't remember what the ult does. Oh, adds 10 mana of any color.
yeah.
Well, the cool one is I mean, I wish the draw two cards was like a little bit less on the loyalty. -5 for drawing two cards is kind of painful.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, honestly, I'd probably do that over than add 10 mana. That's
Hmm.
me. I'd rather draw the two cards than save it up for that god awful. What is it? 10 loyalty for the.
I think it's more. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
11 or
10
12 or something
loyalty.
like that.
No, it's
Oh, it's 10.
yeah, it's minus 10, adds 10 mana of any color. And it's like you have to wait for what 7 turns because you don't want to destroy the Aether Spark. So for just 10 mana, that feels like it's because getting around you're gonna be pretty strong if you keep doing the +1 every time.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, you probably would need like doubling season just to really benefit from Aether Spark. And if it requires doubling season to use the Aether Spark well, then it's probably not that good of a card, to be honest.
Well, it's probably going in like,
Super
a
Friend.
planeswalker focus strategy, right? So there's going to be like proliferate, and there's going to be other planeswalkers adding counters and stuff like that.
It just doesn't seem like a good equipment card. Is the only thing I'm saying.
Oh yeah, this doesn't go in equipment deck. It goes in like more of a planeswalker focus strategy,
But
which I think it's fine.
Yeah,
I
if
don't
they
think
don't
it's
play it, I don't think they're gonna
absurd.
miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's like
I
one of
think
those.
this is one of those ones that's going to deflate down to like $5, $8, something like that after delivery release.
So this set is, I know it's comparable to Murders of Markov Manor and stuff like, because it's really heavily themed, and the other theme sets we've gotten so far. Murders is just the headline because it's the first super themed one that we gotten. We also had the cowboy themed one. We've always had kind of a themed set, but they've kind of set down close to home because we've had we technically have a dinosaur theme playing, but it's not like super in your face dinosaur. Like there's like all the planeswalkers are cavemen type situation. So it gets a little weird, and every creature is super themed for that plane. And this is one of those sets that is like the theme set. I don't know what people are calling it. It's like it's the whole kind of theme situation. But this is the racing theme for this one. If you can't.
So I was going into that jaded like that, thinking, oh yeah, and Fast and Furious is going to be the tie-in cards. But I think that less of this one. This one does feel kind of like Kaladesh or whatever they renamed it. Because like the Aether, the energy, the focus on vehicles, the designs of that plane are very forefront in this set, and like Chandra's from that area and stuff like that. It doesn't feel like planeswalkers with hats as much as the other ones did.
No, the planeswalker with goggles. Can't you tell by both the goggles on it?
Oh yeah,
both of the goggles.
Well, yeah, but I feel like
it's not as bad as they've gotten better about the whole theming for the super like. That's my only thing is like they go like super heavy into the theming where it kind of starts not feeling like Magic. They get a little bit better than they had in the past. It's better than the cowboy set. What's the cowboy set called again?
Outlaws of Thunder Junction.
Yeah, I like this set better than that. And plus, I'm glad they got away with from Murders of Markov Manor, Outlaws of Thunder Junction, and just Aether Drift. That's what Magic needs to be. You can have like a sentence, but we don't need a confusing Murders of Markov Manor or Karlov Manor. See, I've already messed that up.
Yeah.
And I was really good about that.
Yeah, smashing two words together. Let's keep doing that.
So this set is set in Avishkar, which is the rename of
Kaladesh.
Kaladesh, thank you, because of I guess it
actually meant something in Hindi that was pretty stupid. So
they didn't want it to use a word from Hindi, so they use Avishkar as the new name. It's across 3 planes, so because of the how things are set up now with the tree, they set up a race for an Aether Spark. Essentially, it's like the grand prize of the race, is the trophy. And it's across 3 planes: Avishkar, Amonkhet, and a new plane called Muraganda. And And so we already know Avishkar, aka Kaladesh, and then Amonkhet, which is kind of weird seeing them both together because they're like complete opposites in the thing. But it's cool because those are like I think the two main like race teams is between Avishkar and Amonkhet, which people are speculating because the whole story's not out yet that Amonkhet their team ends up winning the race based on because there's like a card called like a podium or whatever and has them on the winner's podium, and the Amonkhet racers. So they think Amonkhet's going to win the race with the Aether Spark, which they don't probably care about the Aether Spark at all. I think Avishkar would rather have the Aether Spark. Amonkhet really probably couldn't care less. It's more of who's connected to Amonkhet. If they do get the Aether Spark, which wouldn't happen, but it would be cool though. Speaking of the old genius himself, that's locked away in the forever prison. Talking about what's it? Bolus, yeah, Nicol Bolas. He would want the Aether Spark. I don't think he could. So far, I mean, we know he's coming back because Magic. They said he is, and they're gonna want to use him again, but. Right now, he can't come back, but I mean,
I keep expecting him to be a partner card with Ugin.
I wanted it so bad. I thought it would have been fun, but so far we have some new mechanics and some returning mechanics. We got start your engines, which I don't have on here, and we have max speed, which kind of goes with start your engines. It reminds me similar to the ring situation with Lord of the Rings, where you get tempted by the ring because it's like it scales up and it's like a permanent. Though you can go back on speed, there is one card that will reduce your speed by 1. But other than that, but the only thing is you don't really gain anything for the speed. It's only when you hit max speed is usually what most of your benefits are.
Yeah, it only matters if like you have cards that care about it, kind of like City's Blessing.
Yeah. Except it takes a lot longer.
And the effects tend to be way stronger.
Yeah, most of the cards would be like it's a 1+1. It's a 1/1 with first strike, but it'll be a 4/4 if you have max speed type situation.
Yeah, 4/4 first strike trample if you have max speed. Yeah.
Most of them are pretty strong for the max speed situation. There's some pretty fun cards in there. The new Chandra, I didn't think was that good until I saw it being played, and I was surprised how actually strong that card was with the vehicle deck.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was like, it's a mediocre card, and then I saw it get played. Well, I think I sent you the video. They played the Boros commander that had the vehicle's haste, and she pairs very well with that commander.
I was very surprised how strong the vehicle tokens were. It's like it's a 2/3 with that requires extra steps, but 2/3 tokens are really good.
When in the beginning of combat, she turns it into a creature, and I believe she also gives it haste. Yeah, she gives it haste. So for a 0, you get a 3/2 vehicle with haste, and then not only that, at the end of turn, that creature is no longer a creature anymore. So it's ignoring, conventional. It doesn't get board wiped and stuff like that from the creature board wipes. And then another feature we do have this one on the card, which is exhaust, which I think we've had before, but very little. I think it's a returning mechanic. And usually the exhaust, as you can see on the card, on the bottom card, is quite powerful, but can only be used once per game of that instance of that card. So if it's like exiled and returned, it will, or graveyard and come back, it'll be a new card, so you can use it again. So yeah, the Flicker decks didn't really need the help, and they've got some really good toys to play with now. The cards that like to exile and bring it back, whatever you want to call it. But I like to call them Flicker Noodle, which is the blue-white little serpent that exiles things.
Yeah, I know what the companion
He's
one.
the companion. Yeah,
Warrior.
yeah, you're right. I've played against him several times. I hate playing. He's so obnoxious. You want to do something? Exiled, come back. It's like I got this ability, but it's going to happen about 50 times, so I'm going to exile it about 50 times. So
I'm gonna steal one of your things.
yeah.
Now I'm gonna do it 3,000 more times.
And then the worst part about those decks is they take forever to play, just like Super Friend decks. That's the other thing. Because there's so many triggers and stuff, they take forever. And then we got cycling, which is a returning mechanic. Though honestly, there's some really cool cycling mechanics. Most of it's more the Amoket theme of it. There is a really cool in the Amoket Commander deck, which I was about to get to here in a second. There's a card that gives a cycling for like a colorless and a blue to all your cards in your hand. To the discard, draw a card, discard that card, play one in blue. I think that's a really cool card, especially for zombies because the zombie card.
That insane green creature. It's like 5 mana for an 8/8 trample. Already really good stats wise.
Yeah.
We'll definitely see standard play. But then it also has a cycle ability that gives 2+1/+1 counters, trample, and indestructible until the end of turn. And you draw a card, of course. Like that's so powerful. Both of those effects are really good.
Especially if you can give things madness, which is even crazier. Because I believe there's an enchantment that gives stuff madness. I think there is. I thought there was. I thought there was something.
There probably is. I'm willing to believe that. But the fact that like both of those effects are like pretty pushed for their mana costs, I'm so used to cycling effects being like, cycling is kind of a negative thing. Like, oh, you're getting 4/5 of a card if you cast it, or it could just be another card if it's not good right now. You know, and like you kind of pay a cost for that flexibility. But like both of these effects feel pushed. It's so hard for me to come to terms with like that's just what cards are now. You know.
Well, even the base cycling, the basic, discard that card and draw a card. You pay like 2-3 mana to do that, which never seemed super great to me. But giving it to the zombie archetype is one of the strongest archetypes to benefit from that. It's probably not the strongest, but it's one of the strongest. So, because they have so much recursion, and a lot of zombies want to be in the graveyard. And they don't care as much as some it's not like giving a cycling to dragons or elves probably isn't that useful, but I think the only one that would probably do it the most are the that deck that we got from Commander Masters, the Goif deck. Probably want it more than they would, but still. I think that zombie that gives all your cards cycle is pretty strong. I'll have to show it to you later. I don't know if I sent it to you. And then another returning mechanics, we got mount and saddle. So the mount returns from the cowboy set. So we get mounts that also benefit. There'll be a lot of cards that say mount and saddle. And I think the new pilot tokens will say they can both mount and saddle.
Both mount
for the extra power.
Or crew and saddle.
Yeah, crew and saddle. Sorry.
Yeah. Those tokens are also really strong. And I'm glad we're getting more effects like that instead of just having to rely on the blue-white commander, whatever his name is, Shigeki or something like that. No, Shigeki's something different.
You talking about the robot? Oh no, you're talking about the
robot. Yeah.
No, I think this other one that makes I don't.
The 8/8 vehicle.
Yeah. It's still pretty strong.
Draw 2, discard a card.
Actually, it's probably even stronger now than it was before. So, in this set, we got some alt arts, which you don't really... Well, I think the Chandra card up there is an alt art, but they have like the full alt arts that we've been getting now. I think it's mandatory now. The big new one's the gold borders, which is the top one. We haven't got a chance to see it in person yet. I hear they look great.
Yeah.
A little confusing.
Yeah, we've been told by official Wizards of the Coast channels that the yellow looks better in real life than
I imagine.
than it
As
does
long as it looks
on the internet.
different from
Yeah.
the old non-playable gold borders, that's all. I mean, you could tell the border looks different, but I mean, from like far away, as long as there's like
Yeah.
a colored, because those ones are more brown colored anyways. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, so in those gold cards you can only get in the promo packs that you can get the
This old
inserts
collector edition things, yeah.
when you buy like a box, or like if you get a collector box, I believe you get a pack of those in there as well, and
Mm-hmm.
and then the box that you're talking about, because they have the normal one, and that's a standard thing now. Is like you get the normal one for about $40, and usually based on the pack value, it's a pretty good. You get basically the equivalent or
Yeah,
a
you get
little
like
bit
9
cheaper.
packs.
You get a little
Yeah.
bit cheaper if you do like the pack rate based on what comes in the box, and you get extra lands. You get a promo card. You get a spin down and the box itself, which is great for storage.
Mm-hmm.
I use them all the time. And then you have now the promo one, which is always they keep doing for like $80, but they sometimes will
Mm-hmm.
sell for more than that. And at first, when they did those, the benefit was just one collector booster, so it was really garbage. But now they're like, well, you get 2 collector boosters now, and you get this special pack, and you get a really good promo and stuff like, or a special spin down. So it's
Yeah,
more
it's
beneficial
insane
now.
value now. Yeah.
And then the pack that has the gold cards in, you get 1 gold card and one, I think it's a rare, so 1 gold rare or mythic, um,
Mm-hmm.
and then 1 land with the gold border. So yeah, I feel the gold borders at least at the beginning will be very expensive. I'm sure they'll hold value, but I'm sure the first time people are opening packs, that those gold borders are gonna be pretty hot. Especially that I think the
Yeah.
gold border
I don't
Chandra, because it looks pretty cool. We'll probably go for a
know.
bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got 2 precons. We got an Amonkhet precon, and we got the I guess what do they call it? Avishkar precon, which is energy, and then the Amonkhet is really just focused on looting mostly. A lot of heavy discarding, drawing.
Hmm.
A lot of I think the main commander focuses mostly on drawing. Like
Mm-hmm.
every time you draw a card, it gives your zombies +1/+1, I believe. So it's just pretty strong, actually. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
that's a very powerful effect on zombies.
yeah, and especially in the whole decks. The deck is built pretty well. I think the zombie deck is stronger personally, but I mean I haven't seen them played. But looking at the lineup,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Yeah,
has some.
great starter for anyone who's looking to build a zombie
yeah.
deck. I
Oh yeah,
imagine
it
a lot of
has
people have been waiting for.
a lot of the really good staples. I mean, you could pretty much run the zombie deck out of the box, and if you wanted to run it with your friends that have like good commander decks, I think you could probably just. I think there's like 10 cards you just have to replace, because it even has the old commander from Innistrad that's in the deck reprinted. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the one that makes the extra zombies when a zombie or a creature dies or whatever, makes the decayed zombies. So he's in the deck
Oh, yeah,
reprinted.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
and it's his first time being reprinted too, which is cool. Um, yeah, I've seen the energy deck. I mean, energy. It's a good deck. I think the zombie one's a little bit better. That's we'll find out when we
Every
get to
time
play.
energy gets more and more, every time energy gets more cards, it gets so much stronger.
Yeah,
I played against a energy deck that
energy and late
ran.
game, you can't let them set up, because yeah, once they get set up their engine, they're pretty much gonna win at that point, which kind of makes sense. But
They get so much value and they can just push you out of the game so fast. It's absurd.
yeah,
And it getting stronger is kind of scary.
it's a lot easier to generate energy nowadays, and there's a lot more payoffs for that energy. So yeah, once they get like the generation and then the eventual payoff, that probably is going to win them the game. Yeah, you really can't let them set up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the big sets we had to talk about. The rest of them is a lot smaller.
Yeah, there's not a lot of extra information on a lot of them.
So the next one we have, it comes out June 13th, which is our first Universe Beyond set. Not counting like Secret Lairs or anything. First Universe Beyond main set is Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I'm gonna build Noctis no matter what he is.
Oh, I skipped a set. I apologize. Uh, we'll go back when we'll talk about Final Fantasy here in a second. I messed up. I skipped. We have the one that I'm excited for. Let's see how that. We have the Tarkir Dragonstorm set. That one comes
Oh
out
yeah, I forgot about that.
April 11th for that one. Again, week before for pre-release. I'm most excited for Tarkir Dragonstorm because we're getting some. Not only that, I love dragons in Magic the Gathering. I've always loved them.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, my first love was drakes, but they're too weak to really enjoy drakes. So dragons, the next best thing, and we get some returns like you see the Ugin card. We don't have too much to show off from even, but it's in the Tarkir setting. It brings back themes from the Khans of Tarkir and Dragons of Tarkir. New cards, but you'll see a lot of returning characters from both of those. And of course, there'll be another loot probably. He'll be riding on a dragon. Either that or he'll be doing kung fu moves or something. I don't know. And then
I hope so.
And then we get these Ghost Flame treatments on 10 cards, and they're based on Ugin. So you can see what the art looks like above. Those are the Ghost Flame cards, the art. So those 10 cards, you can get that special treatment.
This might be a good candidate for the return of Nico Bolas. I'd be kind of surprised if they did that this early, but
it'd be good to
years.
It'd be good to set it up because it's like if Amonkhet gets the Aether Spark and then Ugin is no longer watching Nico Bolas because for whatever reason he's doing something in Tarkir, so he must not be guarding anymore. Either because Nico Bolas came back or something else happened and Nico Bolas sneaks out the back type situation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a lot of information on this one. That's most of the information I have. Surprisingly, I have more information on Edge of Eternities than I do on this one.
Yeah, actually.
And this is the one I'm most excited for. This is the first set that is in my opinion, the unthemed set, where if we do get a character from like loot or whatever, I don't think he's going to be super heavily. He's going to be like half dragon or anything. This is a normal Magic Gathering like standard set that we've had before, and I'm a huge fan of the Tarkir setting. It's not super strong setting, but they have some fun cards. So
the big thing I'm excited about is the return of a wedge draft format, because we're going to get the clans back. And I think that'll be very fun to draft. Wedge sets tend to be the most fun to draft.
You are correct. I forgot about reading the clans are returning, and I didn't even think about doing the wedge for drafting. So yeah. It's been a while since we've had Tarkir anyways. I mean, when was the last Tarkir set? Like 4 years ago? Or maybe not even that. I think was it Dragons of Tarkir that came out last?
Dragons of Tarkir, yeah, I think so.
I mean, we've had some reprints from like Commander decks, but
we haven't been back since.
So it's been a while since we visited that. 2015. So 10 years.
10 years.
The 10-year anniversary. Actually, it might actually be on the 10-year anniversary because March. It'll be a little after the 10-year because it comes out in April. They should have done it in March. That's the worst part. Sucks. We're not getting a set in March. Oh no, I'm gonna be so upset that we're not getting a set every month. Let's start.
So is that really 2 months since the last set? Oh no, that'd be a little over a month. But it's gonna be 2 months from then to Final Fantasy.
They're doing a set every 2 months except for the remastered. Yeah, well, now we'll go to Final Fantasy. Um,
Um, yeah, we got it's gonna be all Final Fantasy 1 through 16, and that does include the ones like the numbered in between, like 13.2, 13.3, and X2.
so June 13th for this one.
Mhm.
It's supposed to have all the main Final Fantasy stuff. Looking for equipment, so you're gonna. I bet you the cloud swords are gonna be really popular. Um,
Yeah, probably all of the Fyra, Fyraga, Comet, all the classic spells are probably going to be instant sorceries. Um,
it's going to be full draftable. It's going to be standard legal, and when they promoted this, they said it's going to be similar to how they did Lord of the Rings set. Um,
so it's probably going to be like a little more printed later.
yeah, well, my guess is they're going to have. It's going to be a very strong set. That's my view. I know they're doing like a full set, not like a. I think they're what they mean is they're not going to do what they did with Assassin's Creed. They're going to do like a full set, draftable set, like they did with Lord of the Rings. In a full draftable set, 4 commander decks, and then I imagine, because this feels like the premiere set this year, so I imagine they're going to be really strong cards like Lord of the Rings was. And I'm not a super fan of Final Fantasy. I'm somewhat familiar with it. I played some of the games. Probably the one I played the most was the 14 MMO, which had nothing to do with the previous games. So, which most of the games don't.
Most don't have anything to do with that. Um, but I plan on buying probably 2 boxes of this set, maybe a box and a collector's booster or collector's set, whatever, collector's box, whatever it's called, or maybe even just a box and all the commanders. I'm really excited about this one.
I'll probably wait since I'm not huge into Final Fantasy. I don't have a connection to it like I do, like say Fallout. So it just never was the game that I played growing up. I played like 1 or 2, and it was like on the PlayStation, and I vaguely remember them. It's been that long. All I remember is like the little wizard dude with the like he didn't have much of a face. He had like no face, and then yeah, I don't remember much. But yeah, it'd be cool. Maybe I might get one of the precons if they're anyone that I like. I imagine there'd be some pretty good staples. Yeah, I'm sure we'll see some of those cards for a while, like we do with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Probably be heavy equipment, and heavy sorcery and instant. I imagine. I don't know. It's just my guess. I'm guessing there's gonna be a spellcaster precon and equipment.
All we got to go on.
And then the other 2, maybe they'll bring back party. That'd be cool. Or party like, because it's like, because they have like the classic Final Fantasy, like the 4 guys. So if they had something, I could see them do a party. I don't know if they want to use them. I guess rogue, wizard, warrior.
Yeah, maybe it'd be like party up or something like that, and white mage, dark mage,
they need
or white mage, black mage.
What's the
Whatever.
What's the enchantment they need to reprint it? That's like you can only attack by 1 creature at a time. They need to reprint that. Kind of for like the old school Final Fantasy combat. Yeah, I'm talking about. Only 1 creature can attack, 1 creature can block. It's like
Single card? No, that's a silhouette.
I think it's like the tunnel one.
The tunnel one's 2 creatures can attack. There's a lot of them that like have been rewritten to fight, but
Silent Arbiter is the creature version. Crawl Space is the 2 one. But yeah, it's like Silent Arbiter is the creature version. I just think it would be funny because they're like kind of homage to the original. I mean, they could bring back.
I wonder if there's going to be a summon mechanic. They've got to have a summon mechanic, right? That's such a key part of the Final Fantasy series.
I mean, it's just like making tokens, isn't it? Or would it be different from making a token?
Maybe it'll be like oh god, what's that old Lorwyn like champion where like the person who summons it goes away and he takes their place. Whenever he dies, they come back.
Well, they could do Exalted.
There's a lot of like summon type effects that are like that.
It'd be a nice return for Exalted if they did an Exalted deck. So like a single combat deck. As like I said, playing homage maybe to how like only one creature can attack at a time. I think it'd be kind of cool. I love Exalted, and we don't really get much Exalted, so I think it'd be cool to have a Exalted. We don't have Exalted precon, do we?
I
don't think so.
Nope. We do have the guy everyone builds though. The one that gives double strike.
Yeah.
Or Peak of the Many or something like that.
I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, it would.
You see everyone, he doesn't, and everyone that wants to play Exalted, but it's like 10 people. There's not many. And so, I mean, I don't know if you want to say anything more about that. I mean, it's a cool set. I'm sure it'll be the highlight of the year until Spider-Man comes out. I'm sorry, but people like Spider-Man, so.
I mean, I don't care. I'm ecstatic about it. It's definitely the set I'm looking most forward to this year.
So the set I have a bit more information on is our next set, which is Edge of Eternities. Actually, I have a leaked card for that, but I'm not going to show on here. It's not an official leak, so you have to look that up yourself. But it is Edge of Eternities. I'm better with the name, guys. Again, Edge of Eternities is a lot easier to say. I mean, we get the alliteration, but it's not bad. I'm not going to get tongue-tied. I don't have a long title for this one. And it's a little catchy, so I feel like this one's going to be pretty popular. First, I was a little about it. This one is August 1st is the proposed date. It's probably going to change. But I have a feeling if we're going by every 2 months, August seems like the most likely date. It says they promote it by saying it's inspired by space operas. Very sci-fi themed. It's located in a new setting called the Edge, which is located next to the Blind Eternities, aka where the Eldrazi live, and all the others. So it's like they're on the edge of the universe type thing. I know a lot of people like Siren space opera. I'll give a little bit more information, but when I say Edge of Eternity, I know some people thinking space opera, they're thinking Star Wars or Star Trek. But me personally, if they want to do like a secret lair off this, because they're at the edge of the galaxy or the edge of the universe, really needs to be Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And this is coming from a Star Wars fan. But personally, if they if it's that obvious, I don't really want to see Star Wars and Magic. It's just kind of confusing. It would be cool.
I have so much trouble believing we will see Star Wars.
I don't think so, because with Disney and they have their premier card games right now, they're really competitor with it.
They have a really competitive with Lorcana. They're competing actively with Magic the Gathering. And I feel like just giving them the rights to Star Wars is just throwing their hat in their saying, you're right, we can't compete with you.
Well, and they also have an active Star Wars card game currently, and they're about to release. I think they're the third set soon. Is it the third or second? It might be the fourth. It's all spaceship themed, and I'm pretty excited for it.
Pretty sure it's the second.
No, it's not the second. The second one was the Clone Wars.
Second expansion, right? There was the original Clone Wars set, and then the second expansion.
No, the second expansion was Clone Wars. First expansion was the the Scoundrels, the Mandalorian Scoundrels set. The first one was like the Rebellion, Alliance, Empire. Second one was like Mandalorians, like Jabba the Hutt, like the Scoundrels of the Galaxy, and then the third one was Clone Wars, and then this one. So this will be the fourth set, but the third expansion.
Yeah, well, different game,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
the argument stands that like I don't think we'll see Star Wars.
Probably not.
Uh, if there's
More
a
likely
tie-in,
Star Trek
I kind of I
than
kind of
Star
hope
Wars.
it's Mass Effect,
It's
because like
possible.
they've been having good relations with all the different video game uh companies with
Yeah.
Fortnite and
We did get
uh,
Doctor Who, so I
Final
think
Fantasy.
Star Trek might be closer than we think. Um,
Maybe, yeah, we could probably see Star Trek.
but yeah, I think
Um,
awesome Secret Lair magic. If you're not gonna, because you're never gonna see this magic gathering. But if you're listening, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is more closer to this set than you realize. Just saying, it's goofy. But just do it as a Secret Lair. We don't need a set for it.
um, the other theme about this set that I was kind of excited about is with the leaked card. I know it's necessarily official. Uh, I think we're like
Uh,
referencing like the algorithm. Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties. Um, so as I was saying, one of the things I'm excited about for this set is the with the card that got spoiled. We don't necessarily know if it's an official card yet. And with kind of the theming towards Eldrazi, I kind of like the idea that it's like it may be like some Eldritch horror themes to it, which I love. I love space Eldritch horror, Lovecraftian uh, type stuff. I hope they do embrace that some more. It does kind of look like a dark set, based on the arts they've shown.
yeah.
Um,
The promo text for this, it says harness the advanced technology of the Sothra system as forces vie for cosmic power and discover what lies at the heart of this turbulent galaxy.
Hmm.
So that was the the promo thing they said for when they were talking about the set. And yeah, Sothra the Super Void is the promo card. So yeah, the last thing we're talking about is the headliner card, Sothra the Super Void. That's pretty much it for the set. Looks like a fun set. Then we get a couple of minor stuff ending the year off. We have the Universe Beyond Spider-Man. To be announced time frame, but I imagine, August, September, October-ish time frame. We know about the set. It will have booster packs and it will have commander decks. And it'll probably be standard legal since Final Fantasy is standard legal. I think that's like from now on, all the universe actual sets are going to be all standard legal. So, not much is known. No released images or anything for that one. Speaking of, let me take this away. So yeah, we don't know much about it other than it's supposed to be Marvel Spider-Man, like the full all characters and stuff, all the universe for Spider-Man. So, coming up after that is not a full set, but I'm going to talk about anyways. Is a Secret Lair set announced, which is SpongeBob. SpongeBob
Woot.
and Magic. Can't wait to play SpongeBob as my commander, and Patrick as a planeswalker. And then the only other thing we have in the pipeline is an unannounced Universe Beyond for this year. So we have another full, and this one isn't a Secret Lair. This one is a full one. Don't have a date. All we know is there's going to be boosters and a couple commander decks. So don't know what it's going to be yet. It's going to be hard to speculate since this year is a video game Secret Lair, video game Universe Beyond, and we have and then
children's TV show.
Marvel, but only for Spider-Man, so it could be anything. But yeah, we've seen movies, we've seen books, TV shows. So we've had anywhere from Doctor Who to Fallout to Lord of the Rings to Walking Dead to Street Fighter. So really, I mean, I guess wherever the dart lands on the dartboard, I guess is what our next Universe Beyond is going to be. Can I speculate what it's going to be? I don't. That's so hard because there's no. I mean,
What do you want it to be? What's the number one you
it
want it to be?
won't be Disney related. So we're gonna cut all that out. So that's a big section.
Okay. Yeah.
Outside of Marvel, apparently, they'll allow Marvel, but nothing else because I guess they don't have a Marvel card game. So we'll cut out Disney, main core Disney and Star Wars out of the picture.
Mhm.
If we don't get anything Star Trek by Edge of Eternities, I think Star Trek has a huge possibility. That not really what I want, but I think of like top 5 possible Universe Beyond coming. I think Star Trek is pretty high up there. I would put it. I'd put it in the top, at least top 3 of possible upcoming Universe Beyond. What would I want? That's a hard one. Do you have any idea what you'd want?
I think the one I want the most, and I think there's a decent chance of it happening, is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah,
I think that there's a pretty good
one.
chance that could happen, and I think it kind of fits the theme.
I think that was
that's probably
the
my
rumor
biggest
that
guess.
we might get it. Trying to think of Steam
Because
games.
they have a
that
lot of
play.
Avatar things coming out soon, so
What about a video game? Is there a video game you think would be good?
hmm.
Trying to think
I'm
of a
trouble
good core
thinking of
series.
maybe like Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, possibly. I would love to see Dragon Age, but I don't think Dragon Age is big enough, like universe-wise, to cover cards. I think they'd be start stretching a little bit, and they kind of already had to do that with Fallout. Elder Scrolls has a very long history, longer than Dragon Age, so I think you'd have more to do with. Plus, I mean, they already struggled with the timing with Assassin's Creed. They don't want to struggle with that because there's a Dragon Age isn't selling too well right now, so they probably don't want to write off the coattails of that. Just my advice. Whether you like the game or not, it's not selling like it should. And I'm a huge Dragon Age fan, so trying to think what else. I don't know what I would pick. That's a hard one. I didn't really think about that one. I would like something similar to Lord of the Rings, and I would pick Warhammer Fantasy, but we already got Warhammer 40k. I doubt we'll get the fantasy side of things. Honestly,
We might.
if we did,
I think that's
people don't know Warhammer Fantasy very well.
I mean, I didn't really know Warhammer 40k that well until that set came out. Then I was like, oh yeah, I like this.
I think you would like fantasy better over 40k personally. It's
Probably.
I like I said, I have some bias on that one, but the designs, it's like similar to 40k. But I mean, you think of like StarCraft and World of Warcraft because they're based on both of those. So you think of like World of Warcraft as Magic cards, which I don't want. I'd rather have it as Warhammer Fantasy. So if I could have another Warhammer, I'm a huge Warhammer Fantasy fan. There's so many awesome factions. I mean, that are fully fleshed out. The Empire alone, like the humans in Warhammer Fantasy, is so awesome. And there's multiple major factions within the humans. The Wood Elves, the Dark Elves, probably won't see much cards because they're a little controversial. I mean, their main currency are slaves, so and they're very big on torture, both sexually and not sexually. Like super what's that super Hellraiser vibe. So probably won't see much of them. The High Elves are amazing. You'd love the High Elves, I think.
I think that's the one my brother had. I thought I liked them.
They're not your typical elves. They're like hardcore elves, super hardcore in magic, but like they could like their main frontline are like super heavy armored guys. They do wear they don't wear pants, they wear like this dress, but it's like armored dress, so they're like feet, and they carry giant long swords, and and they ride dragons, so they're cool. And then there's the Ratmen, the Skaven, that are just eat these warp infused stones that fell from the sky and mutates them or makes them super smart, and they make crazy inventions. And there's like a clan, there's like a ninja rat clan, there's a science rat clan, there's a mutation rat clan, there's 9 of them, I think. And then you got the evil gods. Yeah, I'm going ranting on out. There's so much options for Magic to hit that for Warhammer Fantasy. Honestly, I think it'd be easier to hit a full set with Warhammer Fantasy than it is 40k. I think it would translate a lot easier. And the only difference is like Magic in Warhammer Fantasy is like usually when Magic spells are cast, they're like massive. They're like you don't cast a lot of spells in fantasy, but when you do, it's like it's like Tasha's and like Immolating Inferno type magic. It's like like it's wizards are like top tier. It's like imagine playing a wizard in D&D, but you have like 3 spells you can cast that day, but one of them is like Meteor Swarm, and the other one's Time Stop, and then the other one, so it's like they don't get a lot of casting, but when they cast, it's like a big deal. So, but yeah, I'm trailing off. But yeah, I think after we talked about this year, compared to last year, I have better hopes than 2024. I think 2024 had some good stuff and not so good stuff.
Yeah, I think I completely gave up on 2024 after Outlaws.
Yeah.
I just had so little faith that the next few sets were going to be good.
Yeah,
but I have a lot of hope right now. So
yeah, 20. I think 21 is probably the one that came out with. Probably Baldur's Gate was a good year. Strixhaven year was a good year. So we've had some good years in the past of newer ones. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting year. We'll find out. With Aether Drift, so far it looks good though. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for joining us again. If you join us through YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe. And if you're joining us through Twitch, there's gonna be 3 parts. One part's gonna be really short, and then if you want to see future podcast announcements, please follow me on X. There's a link at the bottom. It is Scowheads Alive. And that's when I'll announce the next streams and next podcast. Eventually, when the podcast gets bigger, I plan on giving our own X chat for VandalCast, our own channel for VandalCast. But until that time, it's going to be stuck with my Cowheads channel until we can get it to grow, get some fans out of it first, and then yeah.
Absolutely.
Have a good night.
See you.